Welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast. I'm Victoria Gallagher, your host. Have you been attempting to use law of attraction or hypnosis to attract financial abundance, a soulmate, or career success? Would you like to be happy, motivated, and successful? Have better health, enjoy more fulfilling relationships, overcome struggle, and gain mastery over your life? Then join me on this amazing self-help podcast where you'll unleash the power of your mind. I'll be sharing 20 years of wisdom and techniques of hypnotherapy, law of attraction, visualization, meditation, personal growth, positive affirmations, and other effective methods to help you tap into the great power which resides in your mind and become the best version of yourself. Well, hello there. It's Victoria Gallagher from hiptalk.com, and welcome to my page here for Hip Talk. I was just on someone else's page yesterday actually, and they had asked the question. It was my friend Helen Midas, who's a hypnotherapist in Australia, where I'm actually going to be next year for my Law of Attraction Intensive in Australia. But anyway, she had put the question across on her page. She asked, how do you feel transformed? What is something that you do that makes you feel transformed? And I realized one of the things that I do is, I'm able to when I'm able to get myself from feeling the low vibe to feeling the high vibe, that's for me something that really makes me feel transformed. And so so she asked, well, how do you do that? What's your strategy to go from feeling a low vibe to feeling in a high vibe? And so I gave her my strategy for that, and so I'm going to give you my strategy for that. But before that, I want to also, I want to do a little test here because it's really, really interesting. And I don't know if any of you know how this works or how this happens. Occasionally, I will show my book, and I'm not doing it at the same time, but it seems like any time I show my book on one of these Facebook Live videos, magically that seems to be the frame that Facebook uses as the frame of my video. It doesn't matter if I show it at the beginning, the middle, the end. So I'm just going to pop it up on the screen. I'm not even really going to say anything about it. I just want to see, and I'm just doing this for a test. I'm just curious if it happens naturally when you show your book. So here I'm showing my book. Okay. All right. So I wonder now, I only showed it for just a second, and I don't have this planned as far as the amount of time that I'm going to talk. I just am curious if it's going to show that as the frame, all right, naturally. All right, so let's get into this strategy that I use to get myself from out of a low vibe and into a high vibe. And before I even go into that, one last little thing here I want to mention is that the reason why we want to go from a low vibe as soon as possible into a high vibe is because of law of attraction. So law of attraction is basically the philosophy that what you put out there comes back, like attracts like, and it is based on energy. Everything is energy, and so if you're putting out positive vibes, positive energy, you're ultimately getting back positive things back into your life. If you're putting out negative energy, then you're going to be attracting more on the negative. So the longer we stay in a low vibe, the more likely we're going to start to attract the things that we don't want. And if we can, stay in a high vibe, more likely we're going to be attracting things that we do want. So the very, very first thing to notice the very, very first step is just to notice, is just to become aware. And this is something that happens because you do take time every day to be in touch with how you feel. You want to be proactive about this. You want to check in with yourself. When you first wake up in the morning, how do you feel when you very, very first wake up in the morning? Are you grumpy? Are you in a good mood? What can you do to shift that? Because the way that you start your day typically is going to tell you how the rest of your day is going to go. And so, and by the way, feel free to leave a comment for me. Let me know where you are watching from, whether you're watching live or whether you are watching the replay. And I'd love to know your name and, who's watching, who's tuned in here. And so let me know where you are watching from, and just go ahead and drop that into the comments below. All right, so let me go kind of into my strategy here. So number one is awareness. How am I feeling right now? All right, that's the very first thing. You want to become aware that you're in a funk. And, the thing is that it's okay. Sometimes we get into funks. We're not going to, no matter how long we've been doing the law of attraction, or how long we've been practicing our affirmations or our gratitudes or meditating or whatever. I mean, I've been an avid meditator for probably the last 20 years, and I've literally gone 200 days nonstop without not one missed day for the last 200 days. And I still find myself on occasion getting into a funk. It's going to happen. Your mood is naturally going to go up and down. And a lot of it has to do with how you think about things and your perspective on what is happening. Because there's always a what's happening, and then there's a story that you're making up about it, that you're telling about it. So number one is awareness. You want to become aware of how you feel. Okay, you want to be able to be in touch with that. Number two is, and as you're doing this, whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave a comment and type into the comments to take notes so that this can get integrated into how you are learning, into your learnings. And so number two is going to be to acknowledge it. All right. So whatever feeling is causing you to feel like you're in a funk, whether it's I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm frustrated, I'm resentful, whatever it is that you're feeling, you want to acknowledge that feeling. Don't just ignore it, because what you resist, ignoring it is resisting it. You need to actually embrace and accept and acknowledge that I'm in a funk right now. I'm feeling bad right now. So whatever it is, and acknowledge the feeling. All right. Maybe it's I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm mad, whatever it is, just go ahead and let yourself acknowledge it and embrace it and accept it. All right, so number three, and this is really where the work begins, is to decide. You are always, always, always making choices. Every moment of every day, you get to make a new choice. You can decide. Last night, I was kind of in a little bit of a bad mood myself, and I was talking to my husband about how I felt and what was going on. And of course, as most men do, he's coming up with all of these things that he could say to make me feel better. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want you to make me feel better right now. I don't really want to feel better right this minute. Let me just get this off my chest and say what I need to say and feel what I need to feel about it, and maybe even have a little good cry about it. But right now, you're not going to change how I feel. And so, and people have a tendency to do that because they are not comfortable with other people's emotions all the time, and they want to rush in to fix it. And you may even do the same to yourself, or you may do the same to other people. So it's important, though, that you actually allow yourself to just experience and be with the emotion for a little while. But that's the acknowledgement part. Now you got to make a choice. Now you decide and you say, okay, I'm choosing to move forward. And one of the reasons that I give myself a why. And one of the reasons that I give myself to go ahead and shift out of that negative mood is I think in terms of manifesting, and I think in terms of giving away my personal power. I think in terms of how important it is for me to be able to be in control of being able to manifest. And so I think, if I can't even manifest a good mood right now, how the hell am I going to manifest my big dreams? If you find value in this personal growth related material, I strongly recommend that you sign up for your $1 trial to my Personal Growth Club. Just head on over to personalgrowthclub.com and get a whole month of premium Personal Growth Club video training materials, meditations. You also get 6 free hypnosis sessions that are valued at over $174, all for this trial of just $1. Even if you cancel, you can keep the 6 hypnosis sessions. That's my gift to you, and that's how confident I am that you are going to love Personal Growth Club. Go to personalgrowthclub.com and start your $1 1-month trial today. If I can't manifest, think about it. So decide, if I can't manifest even a good mood, if I can't be in control of what's going on in my internal state, manage my thinking, manage my clear thoughts, if I can't even do that, then how am I going to manifest my big dreams? And that really makes me realize and kind of calls my attention to the fact that I have a choice. And so then once you realize that, then step 4 is that this is where you need to already have a treasure chest of tools and techniques and strategies that you can use to shift you out of where you are into a better state. And there are tons and tons of resources that I provide in my book, Practical Law of Attraction, okay, and also at my Law of Attraction workshop. There are tons and tons of tools and strategies and resources that we're going to be going through that are going to help you to pull yourself out of that mood. All right, so one of those being breathing techniques. There's tons of breathing techniques that you can use in order to pull yourself out of that funk. Part of it is just doing it. Part of it is I know that's going to make me feel better, but I don't really want to feel better right now. Have you ever just noticed yourself in that kind of state where you're just I don't want to feel better right now. Right now, I'm just there. And so you got to maybe at that, if going back to step 3, that deciding, when you make that decision, all right, maybe you say, okay, I don't really want to shift out of this funk right now. I don't feel like being happy right now. I'm pissed. I'm resentful. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. All right, but you can't allow yourself to stay there for very long. So maybe you give yourself you set a timer. and you say, okay, I'm going to let myself feel this way for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And you set that timer on your phone. And when you're done, when that timer goes off, that's your cue to shift out of that feeling. And so one of the ways that you can shift out of the feeling is going for a walk, or you can meditate, or you can go for a run. You got to do something with your physical body that helps. You can also make a mental shift, but you have to, there's still a shift that takes place in your being. So you're either calming yourself down by meditating, closing your eyes, getting in touch with your breathing, or you're revving yourself up, you're pumping yourself up, you're dancing, you're singing, you're walking around, but there is a shift. If you stay in the exact same physiology in your body, you're going to stay in the exact same emotion, because emotions are energy in motion. So you have to do something that's going to shake that up. And EFT is another great way. Lately I've been, whenever I have any physiological, emotional stuckness, I actually have been turning a little bit to EFT to shift myself out of that. And so I've been thinking about incorporating that into my Law of Attraction workshop, because I think that would be a really good tool to help to shift your beingness. Because so have that treasure chest of things that you can turn to that make you feel really good. I mean, even just watching a YouTube video that's funny, watching the silly babies laugh, or kittens, for me, a lot of times it's that experience is just. And the other thing also to understand is that it's whatever you are focused on that is not happening, or that is happening, but that is what's making you feel bad. You're focused on what's not working. And so you have to be able to actually move your focus onto something that feels good, something is guaranteed that that you can tap into, that is going to make you feel good. And it's different for everyone. Everyone has their thing. But we're going to do a couple dozen of those things at my Law of Attraction workshop. So you're literally going to be well, maybe not literally, okay, because we're not going to grow wings, but you are going to be emotionally and mentally floating out of the seminar, because we're going to just do all these wonderful vibration raising techniques that are going to help you to raise your vibration so that you can become a better manifester of what you want in your life. Because you're just not going to manifest things when you're feeling in a low vibe all the time. So you can stay there for a little while, but you want to have this treasure trove of tools that you can tap into. And please drop a comment and let me know where you are watching from, and whether you're watching the replay or whether you're watching the live, and what tools are working for you. So let me just kind of go back and summarize what I went over here. So number one is awareness. You want to just, now you know that you are feeling this way. Number two is acknowledge it and state, what is the feeling? What is the feeling? And write this down in the comments as you're going through this. Write this down so it becomes integrated into your awareness, and that that you can tap into this. So acknowledge it. What am I feeling? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling disappointed. You don't have to state the reason, just that you're feeling that way. Number three is decide. And, remember that you have a choice. And the longer you stay stuck in that bad feeling, the further you're pushing out what you want to manifest. And the quicker you can shift out of that, the quicker you're going to manifest your big dreams and your big goals. Have your number 4 is have your treasure chest, the things that you can tap into, that you know that feel good, that you can choose from, and make yourself do that thing, even for 5 minutes. For me, it's going out for a run, or it's going out for a walk, or it's meditating, or it is going and giving my cat a hug. That definitely is something that helps me. Or, just stepping away, say, from the computer for a little while. Sometimes I get stuck, and being on the computer for a little too long. Seems like my Facebook Messenger is going crazy. Oh. And let's see here. And then rinse and repeat. Simply do this over and over and over again. So if you find that you got yourself to a feeling good state, you got yourself to let go of whatever was pissing you off before, keeping you in that funk, making you feel frustrated, disappointed, down, confused, whatever. And then you find yourself back in that state again, half hour later, half a day later, next day, whatever it is. Then do the exact same thing again. You have to take control over your mood and your feelings, because it is your mood and your feelings and your thoughts that are calling in whatever it is that you're attracting. So if you stay stuck there, all you're doing is sending a message to the universe, I want more of this. I want more of whatever is making me feel this way. That is a direct message to the universe, because that is how it works. You're only going to be able to attract what you are vibrating. So the longer you stay in a negative vibration, the more stuff you're going to be attracting that's going to keep you in that negative vibration. It is a self-perpetuating state.
Hello, this is Victoria Gallagher. I hope you're enjoying listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. As a way of thanking you for listening, I'd like to offer you a one-time discount of 35% off your first order at hiptalk.com. Just go to hiptalk.com and enter the code PODCAST in the discount code area in your cart, and you'll receive 35% off your first order. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast.
And so is a positive vibration. Notice how, you've seen this before. The happy people become happier. The rich get richer. The poor get poorer. It's because of this exact thing is why that happens. It just gets reinforced. So the more you can go back to reinforcing the positive feelings and what you want to feel, and feel the way that you would be feeling had something happened that you want to have happened, then you are going to be in a much better attracting state to attract and draw the wonderful things in your life. And eventually what's going to happen is the neural pathways in your brain, okay, which basically are, put together by various different triggers. These thoughts trigger these neural pathways to fire. The neural pathways which fire together wire together. So as you learn how to control how you feel, okay, based on how you think, this thought is ultimately going to cause you to feel that way more often. And the more often you can feel that way, the more it just becomes a more natural thing, because that's now the new beaten path that is easier for your brain to associate with. Okay, so these are, and then I was going to really quickly, go through a quick really quick breathing technique that you can use, and it's called alternate nostril breathing. All right, so alternate nostril breathing, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and you're going to put these two fingers down like that, okay? Actually, I'm doing that wrong. I'm going to put these two fingers down, okay? You're going to put these two fingers down like that, all right? Got it? It's really hard to hold your ring finger up, so just like let it kind of relax. Okay, but these two, your index finger and your middle finger, are squeezed into your palm. All right? So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and you're going to place it over your right nostril. Now, I always have a hard time explaining this just because I am challenged when it comes to knowing my left from my right. It's just always been an issue for me. So you're going to put your right thumb over your right nostril, okay? And you're going to breathe in through your left nostril, okay? And then you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to place it over your left nostril and you're going to breathe out through your right nostril. Then you're going to breathe in through your right nostril. Okay, then you're going to move your thumb to your right nostril and breathe out through your left nostril. Okay, now that was one cycle. So I'm going to do one more cycle, and I'm not going to talk while I'm doing it because that slows down the process. But let me do one more cycle and do it with me. Ready? Okay, that was another cycle. Now, what that does is it balances both the right and the left hemispheres of your brain, and it also gives you something to focus on. You're also going to notice that at different points in the day, sometimes your right nostril might be more stuffier than the left, the left one, but this will actually cure that. And this will balance you out. And it's going to balance your whole being, and it's going to bring you peace and calm. And it is absolutely going to raise your vibration, because when you feel peaceful inside, you're automatically raising your vibration and feeling better about life in general. So that is a good one of the many, many tools that you could put into your treasure chest of vibration raising tools that you can use anytime you feel like you're in a funk. So it is a commitment and a decision that you have to make in order to get yourself to be out of that funk. So I hope that this helped you, and please do leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And also you can hashtag replay, and as you're doing all of these techniques, just let me know how they work for you. And I would love to invite you to come see me wherever you are. I'd love to invite you to come see me in Scottsdale for my Law of Attraction Intensive in Scottsdale. Only a few more seats left in that class, so go ahead and get yourself registered for that class today, because we will be closing registration very soon. Only have a few more seats left there. Then we're also going to be in Ontario, Canada, October 28th and 29th. That's Monday and Tuesday. Also going to be in London on November 16th and 17th, and in Sydney on in March 21st and 22nd. So I'm so excited to teach you all these wonderful techniques and get to meet you and do some work together in person live. So please leave a comment, and I'm also going to drop the dates and the links in the comment below so that you know how to get yourself registered for the Law of Attraction Intensive. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your friends. And once again, be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast if not already. We can be found as Hip Talk on all our social media accounts. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course at hiptalk.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast, and you'll be instantly notified the moment the next podcast becomes available. Also, please be sure to leave a rating and a review to tell us how you're enjoying these episodes, and that way you're making a contribution toward others getting to share in this valuable information. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast, brought to you by HipTalk.com, Personal Growth Club, and HypnoCloud apps available at iTunes.